I hate to tell you this, but photography and film is an art, and you're a starving artist.
It's technically a trade.
It is. No,
Filmmaking is a
I
trade.
swear to God.
I think it is. Hey, welcome back to the Launch Day Podcast. We're your hosts. I'm Nathan.
I'm Trey.
And today we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. We're talking about the Discord situation. I don't know if you know anything about that, Trey. Okay.
There's always seems to be something going on with Discord these days.
There's always something. And then we've got some interesting leaks about Samsung's next flagship phone and the slop-filled Super Bowl at the end. But first we've got a warm-up subject. So last episode we talked a little bit about the iPhone Fold, which is rumored. We've got a prop that I've 3D printed. It's an iPhone Fold. It's got a little hinge on it and stuff, just to help us kind of visualize the aspect ratio, because it's strangely wide, but it's meant to be a little bit adjacent to an iPad mini, maybe. So we've got that, and we mentioned that we have a pilot friend who might have some insight on this, because we know that the iPad mini is mostly popular with pilots, and so we actually brought him on the show today. So here he is. Everybody welcome Joe.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Welcome to the cast, Joe.
Thank you. I appreciate that my pilot skills are being put to use with my friends.
Oh, they are.
So Joe, the reason that we brought you here, we mentioned in that last cast, we were trying to figure out who would actually buy this piece of equipment, and we're not going to tell you the price yet. We want you to look at it, get a feel for it, then we'll tell you the price.
Sweet.
But we thought really the only people besides like rich people that just, wanted something, wanted all the Apple products, we thought that pilots in particular would find this useful.
So first, actually hand him that one. This is the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7.
Okay, this one's already out.
That one's already out. That one exists. So the other ones were as thick as two phones. That one, when it's folded, is basically one phone thickness, but it does have a wild camera bump.
Yeah, it does.
So what are your initial impressions of whatever this is?
So I'm guessing there's a screen on the front side, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it's a fully functional phone.
Yep.
And then as you open it, it splits into both.
Yeah, so it's designed to feel like just a normal phone that happens to also be a little bit of a tablet.
Yeah, that's not bad. I like that. The thing that I run into while flying, when I'm flying, I have my headset, which is Bluetooth, connected to my phone. Right. And my iPad, which has ForeFlight on it, the iPad mini, it gives me traffic alerts with my ADS-B receiver. So I have traffic alerts. It'll tell me, hey, there's traffic, this altitude, this heading, 12 o'clock, wherever. There's different kind of things. They'll give you audible cues, but it's connected to my phone.
Oh, it does it through audio?
Yes.
Oh, that's
nice. If I'm connected to my phone via Bluetooth on my phone, I don't get those. So if it was on my phone and my phone was my iPad, I would get those audible cues.
And do you have to pay for cellular for your iPad?
I do, but I don't have to.
Okay, so you could like hotspot or whatever.
Yeah, I don't even need hotspot actually.
Oh, it just worked, right? Because it's just GPS. That's right. Yeah, that's cool. Okay,
that's interesting.
Sick. Okay, but having something that would this is the Galaxy Fold. You get a little bit bigger of a screen, which for maps, would you say that the aspect ratio of it matters? Because that opens up to like a square. Mm-hmm. Would opening square versus more like wide, like an iPad, would that matter at all?
I don't think so. I think, as far as I go, because when my iPad dies, I've used my phone before on the little tiny screen that I have on my phone, and you can zoom. So, I mean, that helps tremendously. It is nice to have the bigger screen, especially when you're flying instrument into the clouds and without visual reference to the ground.
Now simulate for me taking that long phone out of your pocket.
Oh, yeah. So here we go.
You're a back pocket guy.
Yeah. I'm a back pocket wallet guy and a back pocket phone guy.
You
don't ever catch me with anything.
You put nothing in the front?
I'm a no front pocket
He's
guy.
Blank on the front?
He does, dude. The creases are like perfect on his pants.
The creases are perfect on the front. The Kahakis never have creases in the front.
So maybe this might be something that you're willing to put in your front pocket. Or at least it can fit all the way in your back pocket. So check this out. So this is kind of like the Apple, what's the name theoretically?
So this is a 3D printed model of the rumored look of the iPhone Fold, which should come out this year in theory. We'll see. Very different aspect ratio, more similar to like the Pixel Fold, but even more aggressive on the making it wide. The reason for that, I mean, you can probably imagine the reason. What do you think, other than pilots, people want a folding phone for?
Note-taking, reading. I mean, it looks like a book.
It does look like a book, but also media, like watching movies and stuff. The problem with that one, when it unfolds, it's still a square. And so you, for a widescreen content, you don't actually get really any more screen real estate. You just got black bars. So for people who want to watch movies, that's kind of why they did this, I think.
That makes sense.
But like as a pilot, is there anything beneficial about that aspect ratio? Because you do lose a little bit of usability when it's closed, just because it's so wide.
Yeah.
Unless you really like a wide typing keyboard.
I think as far as this goes, just in relation to the iPad mini that I currently have, would there be auto rotation?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, because I mean, in this orientation, I guess in the sideways or horizontal orientation, I think it would fit better on my knee, and it would give me more room to kind of see everything. Because the biggest thing that becomes frustrating is when I'm flying with approach plates, and I have these little charts with these little tiny points with names on them, and I have to know when I'm crossing all these different points. And it's easy sometimes to just look down at a screen and see it rather than on a tiny screen. I have to zoom in at every point, zoom out, zoom into the next point.
And that's less time with your eyes on traffic.
Exactly, yeah. That's less time for me to focus on actually flying the airplane.
Right.
But then there's also the downside, and I've told some of my students this, is having too big of a screen. Because too big of a screen, as crazy as it sounds, can distract you also. It's too much in your peripheral.
iPad kids are becoming pilots. Is that what you're saying?
They are, dude. They're scrolling while they're flying. It's becoming a thing. But no, it's the big screen can become too much. Also, and something to keep in mind with the small planes that I fly is knee room. I mean, I'm 6'1". I don't have much knee room.
Right.
I'm mostly legs, short torso. I'm all leg, and my knees come up really high under the yoke, so I need something thin.
And that Piper Cherokee, the seat doesn't move back very much.
No, it's that thing's tight. It's cramped. You guys know.
Oh yeah. I've seen some of these. I remember when I was like talking to you about leg straps, and you're like, honestly, I prefer to just balance it on my leg because I don't want to like deal with all that. What if it had MagSafe? Would that make a difference for you? If it had MagSafe built into the phone, and then like, I don't know.
Well, he puts it on his knee. He needs MagSafe pants.
Yeah.
He needs MagSafe.
You could totally
make like slap it right there.
Let's imagine a world where that became a thing, and pilots would have pants that just have the circle of magnets inside of them.
Even just a leg strap with a MagSafe magnet that you could just, because that means the iPad is still detachable.
Yes,
which is nice.
So you get the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Yeah, MagSafe also would let it rotate.
Yeah, MagSafe would be really nice. That's a good idea. I like that.
Let's tell him the price before we get too far ahead.
Yeah. Should I take a guess?
Yeah. Take a guess. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, if I had to ballpark, just knowing how much the current iPhones run for and how much my iPad costs.
Your iPad is $499 brand new, and your phone is $1199 brand new.
So I mean, I'd say $1,800.
$1,800.
I think that's right in between.
So we don't know a price for sure. Obviously, it hasn't leaked. We do know that the Samsung phone is about $1,899, but Samsung just released a trifold that'll just fold out twice, and that one is $3,000.
Wow.
Almost, it's like $2,900. And so some people are like, "Oh, Apple always prices on the high end," but I kind of doubt that because first of all, this isn't. I don't know that they're going to push this as a pro phone. I think they're going to push it as. Because the iPhone Air was probably the try run for this to make a super thin phone. It's going to be missing the extra camera and stuff. I'm guessing. What did I predict?
From, I think it was $1,600 for like the most stripped down basic version, and then 21 for like the whatever
20
the biggest specs would be. I think,
and that's probably going to end up being a little low, honestly.
Yeah.
If I had to guess, it'll probably end up being either right at the price of the Fold or higher. Might be $2,000. I don't know. So at that price, would you as a pilot, as a CFI, consider...
Hold on. You as a CFI one, and then you as a like...
Commercial pilot.
Commercial pilot.
Yeah.
That actually makes money.
Yeah. As a CFI, absolutely not.
Yeah.
I was scraping by to buy a Century that was almost prudent for my job now.
Yeah.
It's like that was hard, and that was $700. You know, a $1,800 phone that is two things that I already have combined into one. I would just use the two things that I already have.
Right.
I like the idea. I think it's cool. But now, as an airline pilot,
as an airline pilot, do you even need that?
Well, so that's the thing. As an airline pilot, the company is going to provide me everything that I need. So
that's true.
Need this. Now,
right.
The question would be: is a pilot who owns their own airplane and does recreational flying. That's different. But I mean, some people have locking mounts that suction cup to the window.
Right.
And they'll put iPad mounts on there, which is great because then instead of going from, here down, you're going from leg, or you're instead of, from going outside to down on your leg, you're just outside the whole time and glancing over at the iPad.
For the same reason that I hate it when people have their phone on their leg while they're driving to look at maps and they're looking down, which is diabolical. I like to have my phone as close to the edge of my windshield as I can so I can
That way I can watch TikTok.
Yeah, exactly.
And
that's right.
that way, so I don't get bored driving, I can have Subway Surfers.
You can doom scroll.
Exactly.
Can have Subway Surfers to keep me from being distracted.
How else am I going to get home?
Yeah.
Yeah, obviously.
And another thing with ForeFlight, which that's a whole other topic in and of itself as of right now, because there's a talk that ForeFlight might be going out. It's a Boeing company.
Really?
Well, and Boeing is having wow.
That'll do it.
Well, so what I've heard is that everybody's swapping to Garmin. So Garmin has the same thing as ForeFlight, but it's Apple only. You cannot get it on
Oh, interesting.
It's Apple only. So you have to have an iPhone.
Who makes ForeFlight?
Boeing.
So anyone who wants to use like a Galaxy tablet or whatever
Can't get ForeFlight.
Wow.
Use ForeFlight Web, but you can't get the app.
Oh, yeah, and you don't want to do that.
Yeah,
Well, you would need data, yeah.
Yep.
Wow. That's pretty wild.
But, yeah.
Are you going, buddy?
Yeah, now.
Happy birthday, Joe. Thanks for coming on the cast.
Yes.
And we're back. We said farewell to our friend Joe. Thank you for being on the podcast.
Speaking of MagSafe, some people are rumoring that Samsung is not going to add Qi 2 to their phones. Do you know what that is?
I don't even know what Qi is.
Okay, so do you know any like wireless charging pad that you see? It'll say Qi on it most likely somewhere. Qi wireless charging. It's a universal. Yes,
center my Qi.
Yes,
No.
of course. So it's just a universal standard. So when you're getting a wireless charger that's Qi certified, you know that it's not going to like burn your phone up or whatever. So Apple in 2020, September 2020, announced they added MagSafe to the iPhone 12 series, the whole line, and it was just Qi wireless charging with some magnets around it. They ended up giving that or a version of that standard to I think it's the something power consortium. I don't know what it's called, but the one that made the Qi standard to make what's called Qi 2, which is just MagSafe, basically.
Yeah.
But it doesn't allow you to do as fast of charging. Like for wireless charging, you can't do like 70 watts. You're maxed out at like 30 watts, which is still crazy for a phone. That's plenty, in my opinion. Google added it on their newest phones. They called it Pixel Snap, but it's whatever. It's Qi 2.
It's Qi 2.
But first of all, would you buy a phone without MagSafe?
These days, no.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of one of those things that, like, once you have it, you can't go away.
MagSafe is, in my opinion, probably the best smartphone innovation in the last 5 years. Yeah, it's amazing. It's not expensive either. Like, it's easy to put in a phone. You can put it in a phone regardless of what it's made out of. Even if it was all metal on the back, wouldn't be as good, but you could put MagSafe in it. Yeah. That was an amazing innovation. But they're saying that, like, Samsung might not. I don't know if that's the case because I was like, oh man, that's really sad because people were really excited when Google did it because they're like, everyone else is going to start adding MagSafe and then it'll be like, no matter what phone you have, you'll be able to use all these MagSafe accessories. This is the only reason why they're saying it might not have it, which I think is not really a good enough reason. They're like, oh, they leaked that they're going to make cases that have it or not. First of all, I should probably explain what the best part about MagSafe is apart from putting your phone on things.
What?
Well, like wireless charging is inductive charging, which means that if your phone is misaligned a little, what happens?
Oh, so you get weaker and weaker.
Yeah, it'll charge slower, but that energy has to go somewhere, so it turns into heat. And so if your phone is on a normal Qi wireless charging pad without magnets, you put your phone on there, you can get it as close as you can, but because it's a little off, you get like maybe 50% efficiency.
My 11 got a little toasty back in the day.
Real toasty, yeah. So but the magnets mean you get perfect alignment every time. So instead of the wireless charger consuming 30 watts and only charging your phone at 15, it would charge your phone at more like 25 instead of 30.
Yeah.
So you get like in some cases you can get up to like 90% efficiency.
But people were saying because of these images, some of them don't have the rings.
So here's the other thing. These are for cases.
Yeah.
But this is something that Samsung did last year with the S25 series. They announced that they were Qi 2 ready.
Okay, and we all know your parable about products that are released with the intention of something, not with that thing. What's your quote?
Don't buy something for what it's promised to be later. Buy it for
There
what
we
it is
go,
now. Yeah. So, but
The
Qi 2
wise
ready.
man once said.
But Qi 2 ready is not like a software promise. It's just there's no magnets in the phone, but you can buy a case that has magnets. Which I'm like at first I'm like, all right, sure, 99% of people have a case or whatever. And them doing that means that the third-party case market will all have magnets, which is good.
Yeah.
But also, the magnets cost almost nothing to put in the phone. You could just put them in there. It's okay. And also, having the magnets in the phone and the case means it's stronger, and so you don't get that.
Yeah.
So basically, it's stupid.
Is that your professional opinion?
That's a technical term. So, but they're saying because they're going to offer cases both with and without it, they're like, oh, the phone's not going to have MagSafe. Honestly, I think it might just be because they saw that Apple only offers cases with MagSafe, and they're kind of ugly, which I agree, especially on look up the clear case for the iPhone 17 Pro. So yeah, so they had to put this big white section on it. Click on it for the blue phone. It looks terrible. And they did that because it would look even worse if they just did the outline like they did before, because the Apple logo's in the middle, so it just looks bad.
Yeah.
So I agree that it's...
If I were to own that, it'd get disgusting immediately.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially in your job, yeah. So anyway, kind of weird. It's a short segment, but the only reason I could see them going without MagSafe in the phone itself would be some tiny cost-cutting measure. I mean, they do sell millions of units, so that does mean... some amount.
It's still pennies on the dollar. This is a thing that's been around, and everyone agrees that it's worth it.
It's been 5 years.
Yeah.
It will have been 6 years so that's kind of lame. But the only other reason I could think that they would do that is to have faster charging speeds, because if you're Qi 2 certified, you're limited to 25 watts. They currently offer like 70-watt wireless charging, and so they would have to like drop a feature. And they don't want to drop a feature, but also Samsung is no stranger to dropping features. They dropped on their Ultra, they have a pen, like they got the little stylus. It used to be able to, you click the button and it would be a remote shutter for your phone, like on the camera or whatever. You could click it and it would wirelessly take the photo, and then you could do like little wand gestures like Harry Potter World, and it would like doing this would zoom in, and you could like twist it. It was so cool. That? And they made it just a pen. So they removed like the battery and everything from it because they were like, people don't use it. I'm like, okay. So they shouldn't have a resistance to taking a feature like slightly faster wireless charging that nobody notices out. Anyway, I don't know.
Yeah.
We'll see. That's just a small
It just sounds like a cheap way to take pennies off the dollar,
Of course, also NAND flash and like RAM and stuff is more expensive right now. And so they might need to do something like that maybe to cut costs to keep the price the same, because their phones are already some of the most expensive, more expensive than the iPhone right now.
You're kidding.
Which is nuts. Well, except like when they're on sale all the time. But their MSRP is more expensive than the iPhone for the Galaxy S series right now, which is crazy. So people should, Pixels are also a bad deal. The Pixel 10 128 gig costs $100 more than the base iPhone with 256.
I think you just get screwed no matter what you buy.
Yeah, honestly, keep the phone you have for as long as you can. Well, we'll see you guys right after this break.
And we're on to our third segment now?
Sure.
Discord. More Discord trouble.
Yeah. Have you read anything about this?
I've got nothing.
Okay.
I'm an open
I haven't seen much. I just saw a couple of people going crazy on social media about this. So the headline is Discord rolls out age verification.
Now I know about this. Stuff like this is becoming a common theme, basically asking for more information. So if I understand this correctly now, we have to either provide a picture of ourselves or our IDs.
That's right. So they rolled out on February 9th. They put out a post or whatever on their website or in the app or something like that, that they were going to do this. They said it was going to be teen by default. I will say that the restrictions for the teen restrictions are not a lot. They are, you can't access any channels or servers that are marked as NSFW. And then also like messages from strangers will be in a separate. I think that's just a feature though that they're adding, which honestly I don't mind that they're organized, kind of like iMessage just got that, where messages from unknown numbers go into like a little separate deal, so it's not in your feed or whatever, which is nice. So I will say, like, some people are freaking out too much about that part, but the problem is two things. One, that it'll be defaulted to that if you don't do this verification process, and then the biggest problem is the verification process, which is you have to upload not just a photo, but a video of your face like this, which means they can create a 3D model of your face and sell it, which they most certainly will. It is interesting because how has Discord remained free for all of this time? Yes, they have Nitro, but that, like, what does that give you? Like,
yeah, I know, right?
And like they do make a fair amount of. I think that helps us significantly to recoup their like server costs and things, but they're definitely getting money elsewhere. And it comes from funders, like private funding thing, and also they're probably selling some sort of data.
Yeah, the overall summation is that we've had it too good for too long.
Yeah.
So that now this is time for the second boot to drop.
Yeah, the problem is that you have to either send a video of your face or a photo of your government ID for them to verify your age. But and so that got a lot of backlash because everyone is like, I do not want to upload my ID. Like, I didn't want to do it for like Instagram either because like Meta did that, I think. Yeah. Maybe I think YouTube might have done something like I can't remember.
YouTube, like I noticed it for the first time. I feel like some videos you have to do that now.
So LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram do it. Require photo ID. So does like Etsy if you want to be a seller, but that's and I think YouTube might only be for I think that's only if you're trying to join their AdSense program or something like that to be a creator. So that kind of makes more sense. I'm almost more okay with that. And Twitter does as well. X does, Twitter. I think, for some things they require photo ID. I don't like that. I don't like how surveillance statey that is. But they did
day be so fine. Then boom, age verification.
So they did walk this back a little bit.
Okay.
The next day they got so much backlash. Read the room. Yeah, so they were posting it on February 9th, February 10th, like in the morning, I think. They posted again saying that they'll now mainly use AI age inference to figure out if you're old enough, whatever that means. And so I think that means that based on, first of all, how long you've had an account, because there's some people who have had an account for 13 plus years and they weren't 5 when they made the account, you know what I mean? And so it's like those probably will get an automatic pass, which people were like, if I've had this account for 13 years, am I really going to have to send photo ID now to prove this? Like, really? That means that you don't care how old I am. This has never been about protecting kids. It's probably about surveillance stuff and then also complying with some EU laws because the EU is really what's pushing a lot of this. So the question of like why they're doing this is interesting because for years and years I think the EU is probably just pushing buttons and they're like, all right, we got to do this. But in theory, most accounts, even if it does flag you as a teen, for most people who are just in a few gaming discords or whatever, it won't affect them. But also for the majority of accounts, they will probably just get automatically approved or whatever if they've had an account for long enough. What
do you think the cap of length it will be for not asking for ID?
What do you mean?
I was saying, like, how far back do you think your account will go? Will have to go in order to
how old of an account will just get passed through? Probably any account over, I would guess they're going to want to keep the impact very low. They're going to do the bare minimum to comply with this law. And I think that'll be like 5 years maybe. Accounts older than 5 years.
I think I made mine in 2019, 2020.
I made mine a good bit before that, I think.
Yeah.
In like 20.
At least that's when I first got my first laptop.
2016 is when I first got it. I didn't have a computer at all. I just had my phone or my iPod phone. I think I had a phone at that point. Charles told me about it. He was like, "This is great. You should do this."
Of course he did.
Yeah. So, but I love it. It's great. So, and it is better than any other platform. You have better video quality, better streaming quality. It's incredible.
I convinced multiple teachers to switch from Zoom to Discord. Yeah, during COVID.
It's straight up, if they can learn the software, which I will admit it is harder to learn than something like Zoom, but not by that much. It's pretty easy. And so it is just better. I remember when you could have unlimited 1080p live streams,
The glory days.
screen shares in there, and unlimited 1080p webcams. That was like there was no way they could support that for long, but as their user base increased.
Now here's the thing: if you got that back, would you be willing to sell your data?
If I got it back for free,
yeah,
I'm okay. I'm okay with selling the data that's already being sold, such as this is what I clicked on when I Googled something, / this is what I Google for. Maybe a little bit of like what services I get emails from. I don't care about that. Whatever. I'll like targeted ads. Sure, I have an ad blocker. Like I don't.
Yeah. Well, here's my thing.
And I don't watch TV.
Yeah.
So I don't need I don't really care too much about that kind of data. What I don't want data sold on me about is my real-time location.
Yeah.
I don't want my IP address to be sold if I can help it. I don't want like my contact list.
Facial recognition too.
I don't want you to know like
anything like
the whole contact list is actually a huge one because that's like 1,700 people that I'm interconnected with. I don't want you to know all that because that, and also like potential, if you have a Google phone or an Android phone in general, more than likely the people you call and text the most are information that is sold, which I don't like. If the wrong person could buy that and for whatever reason they didn't like me, they could not only hurt me, but all the people they can tell who are closest to me, and I don't like that. So that's kind of information I don't want to be sold, and I especially don't want my government ID to be sold because from a driver's license, if you're good enough at social engineering on the phone, you could probably get my social security number and my like passport and all kinds of stuff. Like driver's licenses are way more powerful than we give them credit for. So I don't like the idea of that just going anywhere.
Really, where I get the most upset with data selling is when I am looking for something online and I'm hoping for like targeted stuff and they don't even do it. I'm like, so what are you buying? What are you taking my information for? I mean, like, if you're gonna listen to me, I want to get exactly what I'm looking for on the first try.
Right. If there's no benefit, I'm probably going to eventually switch off of Google Photos entirely. But with Google Photos, I'm like, at least I get a benefit, which is I can search by face for any of my photos.
That's true.
Or videos.
I hate that feature because it thinks that me now and skinnier me from a couple years ago are two different people.
You can change that. You can
like, here's you and here's this fat guy.
Yeah, like that's an instance where you could make an argument for I'm all right with this data being sold because I get a genuine tangible benefit. Like for some people they love having a smart home, but I'm less pro everything smart home than before. Like I'm no longer.
What does that mean?
Meaning I don't want a camera in my living room,
Oh yeah.
I don't want a camera. I especially don't want one in the halls and bedrooms and stuff. I don't want cameras everywhere. I do want cameras all over the outside, but I also don't want a smart opening garage door because that's very easy to hack. If you have a Google Home and a smart opening garage door, it's crazy. You can shine a laser through a window onto a Google Home and like vibrate that laser or pulse that laser with a microphone and say, Google, open the garage door.
You're kidding me.
And yeah, you point a laser through a telescope. It's not that hard. You just focus it close enough, and if you get close enough to the microphone, especially on the Google Homes with the screen where you can see where the microphone is.
Yeah.
You just vibrate the microphone with a laser. Google, open the garage door, and it will.
Dang.
Unless you have it set up to require a PIN or something like that. But if it has like voice verification or something like that, then you could fake a voice or whatever. So there's a lot.
Yeah.
And that's just the stuff we know about. That's not including the government wants to get into a house. They give Google $1 bajillion and say, open his doors. Yeah. Like I'm just not interested in that. So.
Yeah. And we'll get into more sketchy details like that for new tech updates in the next segment. But I will say, luckily for me, as far as the garage door is concerned, mine is so loud. If I were in another state, I would be able to hear someone open my garage.
Oh, you would.
I'd be in Kentucky, like garage door opening.
Your garage door is the loudest I've ever heard.
Yeah,
I've never heard anything like that.
It's terrible.
Are you gonna replace it at some point? I feel like that'll make you want to use your garage more.
I don't even park in it right now. So
when you do, though,
I do, yeah,
maybe, yeah.
Also, my bad timing. My backup camera just stopped working,
Ugh.
and I have to back up in my driveway. I'm gonna scrape my bumper. So like now I
Might-
just have to guess when I do park in my garage.
Well, now
I'm
you
just
just have
gonna
to do it
hit
the
my.
old-fashioned way.
I'm just gonna hit my freaking washer and dryer every time.
Just put a big old foam pad on them. It'll be
Well, no,
fine.
I'm gonna get a little tennis ball thing,
Oh, yeah.
but that's besides the point. On to our last segment,
Yeah, so last
the
segment-
AI Bowl
Yeah,
or
yeah.
the Super Bowl,
Or the Super Bowl of slop.
As of this recording, it has now been 2 days. It's Tuesday. Super Bowl Sunday was 2 days ago. Game sucked. That's as much as I'll say. That was kind of lame. We're not going to talk about either halftime shows because they also sucked. Which leaves one major reason why you would even watch Super Bowl, whether or not you're a football fan, is the ads. And
Do you remember when people would all gather together to watch the Super Bowl just for the ads?
dude, when Marvel was at its height,
When there were Star Wars ads, dude, those were all incredible. Every
Like-
year there was a wonderful Star Wars ad. Those are gone, I think.
they are gone. I think I have a list here of basically what I thought were the good ads and some doo-doo balls ads.
Yeah, take it away.
The good ones are good because I thought that they were good ads. The bad ones we're going to talk about in particular because of the product.
Mhm.
So, let's start with the bad ones. So Ring had an ad. I didn't catch that one, so you let me in on this. So Ring has a new search party function, and I think the idea would be that if your dog, or at least this is how they marketed it, if your dog were to go missing and you had a Ring doorbell and your Ring doorbell happened to know what your dog looked like, then it can actually, kind of like the cell phone thing in Batman, the Dark Knight Rises, where
Oh,
he
yeah.
syncs everyone's cell phones up.
Yeah.
Just as Morgan Freeman said, it is completely unethical. It can like sync up and it can find your dog using all the Ring doorbells to triangulate using their footage.
All of the Ring doorbells in your neighborhood.
Yes.
Which means that they wouldn't have rolled this feature out if they didn't know that there weren't like at least a lot of Ring doorbells per neighborhood on average.
Yeah.
Which is wild. Or that people have a lot of Ring cameras elsewhere, like all around their house. Some people have full coverage or whatever. I would not buy a Ring camera because I know Amazon owns them. And ever since they partnered with Flock, which is surveillance state. Flock is all those cameras that are in every city to where they don't have to put a tracking device on your car. They just auto track you.
Yeah.
With your plate and your car's description. Anyway. So, but Flock is a major private security concern, and honestly, Homeland Security concern, in my opinion. And they partner with Flock, and so that's a problem in itself, just by itself. But now they've got this new feature that they're announcing, which they announced it so sweet, but I think very few people had a positive reaction to this.
Oh yeah, because everyone can read between the lines there. It's not that hard to grasp.
And you can spend $30 to get a tracker for your dog.
Yeah.
It's not hard.
I mean, I'm sure they have like collars with little AirTag things.
You should not use an AirTag to track your pet, by the way.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense because, well, the way the AirTags work is they triangulate using signals from any Apple device nearby. But that means that if there's either no Apple devices or only like Android devices nearby or something, you just can't track them. And in a lot of neighborhoods, there's a lot of like woods. Like you need to be pretty close to these phones for them to be able to
Okay.
to track. It's not GPS, and so like you don't. I don't know. It doesn't. AirTags are a very unreliable way to track a pet.
Yeah. But you get the
not
point.
bad if you want to track your car.
Yeah.
Because usually they'll have a phone or be around phones a lot. Because parking lots are full of people with phones and stuff. But yeah, no, the AirTags are not the right way to track your pet. That's a side tangent. But go get an actual thing. Welcome back. We lost our camera for.
Yeah, we did lose our camera. We're not going to bring too much attention to that, but if you were a video viewer,
Then you just got the audio experience for a minute.
yeah. What are you munching on chips for? We got a podcast. A little asthma for you guys.
Say asthma?
I said asthma.
Asthma?
Yeah. Well, asthma, a little bit of barbecue
I've never heard
chip.
anyone call it asthma.
All right, where were we? We said our piece about the Ring. Not a big fan of that.
Mm-mm.
This is all very depressing. It was like Big Brother. Every single AI commercial was Big Brother. Because next we got the Alexa Plus, which
I saw.
did you see that ad?
I was Googling it a few hours ago, and I didn't watch the whole ad, but I saw
It's pretty much just
how AI could kill you.
yeah. It's just Chris Hemsworth being murdered by AI. 2001 Honda Odyssey style.
What are all the ways that it killed him?
It had like a pool cover that was automatic and it like closed on top of him and he was like banging on the thing. Yeah, it was wild.
That's insane.
Yeah, so basically basically AI watches you, AI kills you, and then Jen Spark had an ad where basically this guy, I think it's Matthew Broderick, like Ferris Bueller.
Oh,
Like he's walking up to this guy and he's just like, "What are you doing work for? Why not just get AI to do it and you can sit back and relax?" And that's it. So it's like, okay, AI locates you, AI kills you, and if it doesn't kill you right away, then it just takes your job. So like that's all it was. So they're saying the quiet part out loud
that's
now.
so tone deaf, dude.
They are.
Like, wow, that's so bad. Yeah, and so many of these AI companies, or rather, so many of the people who stand to benefit the most from AI becoming as powerful as possible are trying to say that that's going to bring about universal basic or universal high income.
Yeah.
And we talked about that in the last episode briefly, but no, it don't. Like, I think capitalism is the best system we have that works with flawed human beings.
There we go.
You know, communism would work great if people didn't want it all for themselves, but it just doesn't work. So, capitalism is all we got, really. And as long as that is the case, you cannot have a universal basic income. It won't happen. You will have just what has happened in every other culture that promised that. So
yeah, Slack's AI, however, had an ad with
Slack.
Yeah, Slack AI.
Okay.
They had an ad with Mr. Beast.
Oh, I heard something about this, but I just don't care about Mr. Beast.
Well, here's the thing. He
What was it?
challenged. It's like $1 million prize if you use Slack AI to solve a series of puzzles that he's created. So I'm not entirely sure what the parameters are.
If you use the AI to do it?
You have to use the AI.
What if I use a different AI?
Probably won't get the money.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure they're sponsoring that, and that's
Yeah.
where the money's coming from. But yeah, they apparently if you enter this contest and somehow solve this puzzle, I don't know if it was like a Q. I actually didn't get to see that one.
I think it was a QR code or something.
It could be a QR code. You could go to the website, whatever. It probably is to go to the website to drive traffic. But it's
QR codes
probably
lead to
like
websites.
people trying to get $1 million, downloading Slack, and then there we go. I mean, I'm sure some.
Isn't Slack communication? I think it's for businesses.
I have no idea who they are. I've never even heard of half these companies.
It's a cloud-based team communication and collaboration platform. But it also acts like an entire digital workspace. So it's kind of like a mix of like Notes app and Google Docs for like whole groups of teams or something. Designed to replace internal emails with real-time messaging. Yeah. Okay.
So replacing again. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like if Google Meet didn't suck.
This is all negative. I will say there were a couple of good ones. There was the Duncan one. Did you actually see that?
I saw about it, but I didn't watch full length hardly any of these ads.
Duncan one was interesting because I loved it. It was a bunch of great references and great actors. Where like it was kind of a parody of Good Will Hunting.
Oh, okay.
And they had Ben Affleck de-aged to what he looked like back in the 90s or whatever they made that movie. Who's the guy that plays Joey in Friends? I keep forgetting.
I don't
his
know.
name.
They had another girl from Friends though. They had Phoebe, right?
No, they had Jennifer Aniston.
Okay.
And with Tom Brady, and then my favorite personally was Ted Danson. Ted Danson, looking the way he did back in the 70s and 80s when he was on Cheers. Basically, it was a bunch of like New England people, reprising their old roles in the sitcom style commercial about Duncan. And like the de-aging was so well done.
Really?
Like it was like crystal clear.
Probably did it the old-fashioned way. They didn't do it with.
I tried looking it up because I was about to roll my eyes. The first thing I was going to see was like, oh, this is this AI or whatever. I looked it up, and apparently there's no VFX studio or no other studios currently credited.
There's no VFX studio credited?
No VFX studio credited.
So was it AI / deepfake?
I don't think it was deepfake. Or at least if it was, it had to have come from a studio. Because I was planning on doing my research there. I'm sure Corridor Crew will have a video on it Saturday. But
yeah, using a combination of heavy CGI, specialized and possibly deepfake style rejuvenation techniques. So it's just speculation, but
yeah. But there's no hard evidence right now as to who actually worked on that thing. But it was so good. I loved it. And the writing was funny too. That one was good. There's just a lot of good, I don't know. Sadly, that was the best part of the whole Super Bowl experience for me was the ads, which sucks. How about the football comes first? Then we could talk about a halftime show.
Yeah, put on a good show and then include some decent ads.
But yeah, the ads were half decent this year. And then we got to learn some new scary updates with these companies. I will say this sucked studying. Because it was like, you're like, okay, I need to figure out, the content that we're going to need for the podcast. And then I realized that I was just watching ads.
You're just watching straight
It was
ads.
like that. You know that feeling when you're watching an ad, you can't wait to get to like the video or whatever you are watching, and it just never
ends.
comes. It just never. I just the next one.
That's why I pay for YouTube Premium.
Yeah,
Because-
that's why I have Brave browser.
Yeah, shout out Brave.
Shut up, Brave.
They've got a
Don't tell me. If it's bad, don't tell me.
Well, what I like that they did is like, you know how like Google has their crappy AI overview.
Yeah.
They made their own search engine, which is the default when you install Brave. I always set it to Google anyway, but I appreciate that there's a non-Google one that doesn't track you, but it also has like its own private AI overview if you really like that, but
Yeah.
you can turn it off easily, which is awesome. And they do have their own little AI chatbot thing you can turn on, but you can also just toggle it all off. It's not on by default, which I really appreciate. Like it asks you, do you want this or not? So shout out to a great browser
Yeah.
with excellent ad blocking and privacy features and a built-in VPN if you want it. Really great company. So
In fact, because we can do this, because it is our podcast, we will name Brave the browser of the year 2026.
Browser
So
of the
congratulations.
congratulations. Yes.
We have that authority.
I will make you a trophy and send it to you. John Brave. if you
John
want.
Brave. John Brave is the founder of Brave.
Brave was invented in 2009 by John Brave.
Yeah. Any parting thoughts, Nathan?
I don't think so. This was a pretty standard
pretty-
episode. Not a lot of really
Not very
groundbreaking.
standard. We had a guest. I mean, this is pretty wacky.
We did have a guest. You're
That
right.
said, we don't have a big pool to
Yeah, there's
pull
not
from.
there's not a lot of groundbreaking content this week.
Well, that's the thing is we joked about last episode that we'll
Mhm.
be posting every millennium. But
Yeah,
like
yeah.
really it only depends on if there's anything good. Like we had no
And
plans
there's
to make a
articles
podcast.
every month.
We had
but-
no plans to make a podcast until we kind of came up with the Super Bowl ad
Yep.
idea, but it's like unless there's anything new, you guys don't need to hear from us.
Yeah, and it's not like we're getting paid for this. So
We're not. Hey guys, pay for it. Patreon.com.
patreon.com/I don't have a Patreon. So
Can we get a Patreon?
sure, we can get a Patreon. Why not?
Get us a Patreon.
But if you do Patreon, you gotta have exclusive content. So you gotta make a little more
That's
content.
the easiest thing. I could post a video of me taking a dump.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for today's episode.
Thank you guys for watching.
Yeah, make sure you let us know in the comments what you would like to hear us talk about, if there's anything we didn't cover. And
If there's any new products or new information you guys want to give us too, that'd be very helpful.
yeah, or constructive criticism or destructive criticism, if you want to
Let's
tell
not
us
do
to...
that last one. I think we're perfect the way we are.
Well, we've been your hosts. I'm Nathan.
I'm Trey.
And thanks for joining us for launch day. We'll see you next time. Bro said it like he hung up the phone.
Yeah.
All right, bye.
Bye.
All right, go ahead and stop it.